And we're on.
So you know I didn't message you much this weekend?
Yeah.
I got knocked the fuck out on Thursday.
Oh my
Went
God, what
out
happened?
to my buddy's restaurant grand opening, had a great time, came home, we're roughhousing with the dogs. My wife is 115 pounds, like 4'10" and a half. That's important to her. We're playing around with the dogs and stuff, and her elbow clipped me right in the temple, knocked me out, seeing stars all the way down.
Oh shit.
So the reason I didn't text is I was busy doing the laundry, doing the chores, just trying not to piss her off because she can knock me out now.
Oh man, aside from when I got electrocuted, which I don't know if that's counted as being knocked out. I think I was dead. But I got knocked out one time playing basketball. It was nasty. Like I was, I was this same size as I am now. I was a little lighter, but like I was 6'3" when I was 16 years old. And so like we're playing basketball. It was, high school basketball. So we're in the gymnasium and I was playing point forward at the time, so I was back when you do free throws, you've got your point guard stands back. So at the time, like I was just learning how to dunk, and I
Okay.
knew that this guy sucked at free throws, so I was timing his free throw to like so I could crash into the lane as soon as it hit the rim. And I go up and I try and dunk it, and some big fucking oaf just took my legs out from underneath me, and I landed right on my head and just puking and oh, it was brutal. It was one of the worst fucking injuries I've ever had. I was fucked
Yeah.
up from that for like 2 or 3 months. I just couldn't get fucking right again.
I've had quite a few uh, concussions, so it was like, oh, hello, darkness, my old friend. I
Yeah.
haven't. The last time anything happened. Oh, should we start?
Yeah, might as well. Fuck it. Let's just you know what? Screw the music. Let's just roll. Fuck it.
I was in. It was right after Burning Man in 2019, and I went down to Laguna Beach and I'm standing in the water and the waves seem pretty low. So they were like coming up, like maybe hitting my ass or whatever. And I'm standing talking to my buddy. He goes, watch out. And I go, what? And the whole wave just crashed into the back of my head. That put me out. Um, it's like fuck. The back then I was doing the recreational, so I was able to recover a little faster.
I was at the motocross track one time, and one of my buddies from Northern California was staying with me down there at the time, and his family was poor, and he didn't have health insurance, which you should never ride a dirt bike without health insurance. It's just too fucking sketchy. Anyways,
Yeah.
I see him fucking eat shit at the track, just eat fucking shit hard, and I run over to see if he's okay, and he's out. He's fucking snoring. And at the time, like, at the track that we were at, if the EMTs, like, say that you need to go to the hospital, you're going to the hospital. Like, you kind of
Yeah.
sign your rights away when you go to a place like that, and they don't let you, tell the EMTs no. So as soon as I get over there and I hear him snoring, I'm like, "Holy shit, he's going to the hospital and he can't afford it." So I start, like, wiping all the dirt off of his helmet, and I'm just, like, slapping his helmet. I'm like, "Dude, wake up, wake
Wake
up,
up,
wake up.
dog.
Like, you gotta wake up before the EMTs get here."
Yeah. Did he
And
get
he
out?
did, and they didn't take him to the hospital, and he was fucked up for a long time, but, that's what happens when you ride dirt bikes. Get fucked up.
Yeah, the brain's no joke, man.
No, and I mean, this was in, like, 2005, so we knew far less, like, if that was today, I would never do that. Like, we didn't
Yeah.
know shit about concussions. That was before, like, all of the football stuff had came out and, like, it was just one of those things where it's like, yeah, if you can't afford to go to the hospital, you don't wanna go, especially in an ambulance because an ambulance is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Absolutely.
I've ever told you this story, but we were out riding in the hills one time in Northern California, and I got in a head-on collision with somebody, and I broke both my wrists. And like we were out in the middle of fucking nowhere. And so my dad took off on his bike and he had to go to our truck where we were parked so he could grab his cell phone. Then he had to ride his bike down into town to get cell service. Called and they ended up sending 2 helicopters because I was so far out that they had to send 1 helicopter to transport me and another helicopter with a crew to carry me out. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, and so, like, they got out there and I'd been out there for 8.5 hours, like, it had been a long time that I'd been sitting out there, And one of the EMTs comes up to me. He's like, "All right, what's wrong?" And I was like, "Both my wrists are broken." He's like, "Nah, I'm pretty sure if both your wrists were broken, you'd be screaming." I was like, "Well, dude, I've been out here for 8 hours, like, and I have a high pain tolerance. I ride dirt bikes." And he pulls my right sleeve up and he's like, "Well, there's a lot of swelling, but, it might not be broken." And then he pulls my left sleeve up and he goes, "Oh, that one is definitely broken." So they packed me out, like, dude, sitting out there for 8 hours, my buddy was with me, and, like, I had ants crawling all over me, so he's, like, picking ants off of me because I can't fucking pick ants off of myself, and at some point, they cut my jersey off, so I'm, like, shirtless on the rack, and when
Yeah.
they set me down on the ground to, like, get ready to put me in the helicopter, they set me on poison oak. So I spent 2 weeks in traction with broken arms with poison
With
oak
poison oak?
all over my back. It was
Oh.
fucking
Oh.
brutal. And, like, so we were out there and, my buddy's parents didn't have health insurance, and that was the last time he went riding with us because my dad was like, this it was like $1,000,000 with all the transport and all the bullshit and the helicopters. It was like $1,000,000 that insurance paid for, and he was just like, "You know what? If that woulda happened to him, I woulda done the same thing, and it woulda wrecked their family, and I probably woulda gotten sued, so he's not going riding with us anymore."
So, dude, you're laying there in traction with both arms up, poison oak all over you, and you're like, "This is the worst thing that's ever gonna happen to my body."
Yeah, no shit. So, like, and another thing that happened was, so I was at after they sent me home, this was like the first time I'd been on opioids for like an extended period of time. So I didn't
Yeah.
know anything about them. We didn't know that they were addictive back then or anything like
Yeah.
that, or like any of the side effects. So I'm laying in bed, like I don't want to get up. I'm fucked up. And I was there for like 5 days, 4 or 5 days before I had a second doctor's appointment. And like, so we go to the doctor 5 days later, my grandfather's with me, and like, my parents had to work, so my grandfather came to stay with me, and, which really shows how much of an asshole my other grandparents are because my other grandparents were our neighbors, and my grandfather from Nevada had to come and hang out with me because my other grandparents didn't. Anyways, on the way back, I realized, "Uh-oh, I haven't taken a shit in 5 days." So we
Did
have to
did
stop at a gas station, and I just blow this gas station up, and then my grandfather has to come in and wipe my ass for me.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
It's true
sucked.
love there.
It sucked. Yeah, yeah, it was
Did
it
did
was a rough one
did I
though.
tell you about when I broke my wrist a couple years ago?
No.
So, it was right after we got our truck. It was Thanksgiving break. Living in Vegas, we're like, "Oh, we're gonna take the new truck up to Mammoth." We don't ski, but bring the dog with us. It'll be a nice weekend. Drive through Death Valley on the way out. Nice time. And one afternoon, my wife's like, there's this hot spring, like it's 2 miles off road. Let's just go out there. There'll be nobody out there. Hop in naked for a little bit and come out. I'm like, okay, no big deal. So we get out there and there's people in there. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to get naked with these fucking weirdos. So we're walking around and I see this little hot spring. It's like this big. I'm like, I just want to touch it, see how it feels. My wife's like, don't go down there. Don't you go down there. I'm wearing fucking Toms. And I hit mud and I fall backwards. I know how to fall, so I'm like
Yeah.
trying to move my arm to land on my elbow, but my wrist just catches and I hear snap, 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 snap. And I'm like, oh fuck. And my wife, she panicked and she was like, I told you not to go down there. I'm like, no shit. Now's
Yeah.
not the time for that. So we go back to the hotel, like get some ice on it. She goes, find some ace bandages, shit like that. And it's like the swelling goes down after a day. And I'm like, okay, this isn't so bad. I was able to drive back to Vegas, which is quite a long drive. And like it just kept getting a little at first my did you see the uh picture of the fingers of Prince Charles before he became king?
No.
His little they look like little fucking hot dogs and they're
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah,
purple
yeah,
and
I know what
shit.
you're talking about
Yeah.
for sure.
Um so my fingers look like that. And I'm like, oh, I could be a king. But then it like slowly, like it's fine. Well, or not fine, but like the swelling's going down. I'm like, okay, it's not broken. I just sprained it really hard. So I lay in bed for 2 weeks, and my wife was making me edibles with coconut oil, and I'm eating, like a gram or two of edibles a day, like the
Yeah.
gram or two of THC a day. And after a couple weeks, I go to a meeting, go meet with this dude. We go to lunch. We go back in my buddy's office. I'm like, oh shit, I have to shit. And they're in like a WeWork. So I go to the first one and the bathroom is under cleaning. And so I have to run to the other side of the WeWork. I get in there and I just like barely make it in the toilet because I was eating so much goddamn coconut oil
Oh,
that it's a diuretic.
yeah.
And and I was eating, she was like putting them in ice cube trays. So I'm eating like ice. I probably had 5 or 6 that day of these ice cube size things of coconut oil. And I cleaned up the best I could, but I feel bad for whoever had to attend to that one after.
I shit my pants twice this week. That's
Oh wow.
yeah. The other day I woke up and just a underwear full of shit. Which is crazy.
So
I don't know how long I slept with it like that, but it was so gross. Well,
so
anyways.
the way that I finally figured out that it was broke is like it always hurt when I
Mhm.
used it. Like I just couldn't. I went to get my CCW in that time, and they had me do like a muscle strength test with that hand, and it was like 30% of my. And actually, I'm left-handed, so my dominant hand was only 30% the strength of my non-dominant. And so it goes. We go. That was in November. We go to a festival in May. Fucking fly up to Sacramento, drive up in the middle of nowhere, set up, finally get to go out to a stage. And my wife had bought these little hammocks. They're like single chair hammocks. So I went to like sit down in it and I miss and I land on my fucking wrist and I hear pop.
Ugh.
And it's been pretty much just fine ever since. It like set it back straight by
Oh,
falling
nice.
again. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn. So me and my buddies, when I was living in Southern California, we went out to, I think it's called Calico. It's like out in the desert. It's an old mine essentially. So there's
Okay.
like all these tunnels and shit that you can explore. And so it was me, my buddy Switchblade, my buddy Greg. Everybody has a buddy like Greg. He's just out of control, fucking dickhead. Like I used to catch him on my porch, like putting together old cigarette butts. He would like put butts and then, like roll up an old one because he
I,
was too
I
poor to have
think parents
cigarettes.
curse their children by calling them Greg because
Yes,
every
absolutely.
Greg is like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, we get out there and he's fucking hammered by the time we get out there. Like he's drinking the whole way there. And we decide it's like, 7, 8 o'clock. It's in the summertime. It's starting to like get dark. Maybe it was even a little later. And we're like, fuck it. We're going to go and explore some tonight. Just, for a couple hours. And my buddy Switchblade had been there a bunch of times. So he knew the mines and like
Yeah.
there was no chance of getting lost or anything like that. So like right as we're going down there, I'm like, Greg, do not fucking fall and hurt yourself. Be careful. Like, I don't want to be nursing your fucking injury all weekend because you decided to get hammered right before we got here. And then, like, seriously, 2 minutes later, I start going down the shaft, fall, and sprain the fuck out of my ankle. And it's just black and blue. And at this, like, it's so swollen, like, I can barely tie my fucking boot. It's like bad sprain. And I decided, like, fuck it. I'm going to tape this thing and I'm going to power through the pain the entire fucking weekend because there's no way I'm going to let Greg give me shit for spraining my fucking ankle after making a big fucking deal about him not hurting himself.
If you're listening, Greg, fuck you.
Yeah. Dude, he was out of control. Like, I don't know. I could tell some Greg stories, but I don't know that I want to tell them in public. Maybe I'll tell you
Yeah,
one
that's fair.
after the podcast is over.
Fair, fair. Oh, my wife is starting a new like side project.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so there's this dude, Steve Ranella was talking about this dude on Joe Rogan a decade ago. And he goes into like old mines and finds like stuff from the 1800s, 1900s
Mhm.
clothes. And I bought one pair of overalls from him. They're dope. And he posted on Instagram, he's like, I have tons of these coveralls. And they're coveralls from the late 50s to early 60s. And they're just dope. I bought some for us. And then my buddy has a bar. And there's like a couple other bars connected. It's like a really tight knit community. And I showed it to him. He's like, oh, we got to figure out a way to sell these. So what we're doing is we're doing like an old fucking JC Penney catalog where like it's on paper, you have to look at it to know what you want. and it's so that like they have a range of sizes, and then we're gonna do a patch for the different bars, so you can pick which patch you want. And then my wife's gonna do like these custom upgrades, like, oh, you can get the Biggie edition for like another 100 or whatever. And people will have to like fill out the catalog order and order it by mail and get like this
Cool.
old vintage thing.
You
So I'm
make it
pretty
like the
excited for her.
Sears Roebuck type of thing,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Like, that's the
exactly.
shit. Sears Roebuck
And
was the shit. I've got an old Sears Roebuck magazine in my house, actually.
oh, do you?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It'll be like one of the first editions where it's like a couple pieces of paper bent up, because like we're not gonna have
Yeah.
houses for sale and shit. But I'm really into the nostalgia, and I think people are gonna be looking for like real shit and like delayed gratification. So like I have to mail in my order, and then I wait who knows how long,
Yeah.
and the shit just shows up at my door.
Actually,
So
I was thinking about that last night. So I've been watching this show on Apple TV called Foundation. It's a remake of Isaac Asimov's like famous Foundation series, which is one of the best pieces of sci-fi ever written. And it's not great, but I have to watch stuff like that just because it's my thing. And like,
oh, did you try Elias yet?
no, I forgot about that. I need to do that. I'm gonna write that down for myself.
Dude, I don't like I don't dislike sci-fi, but like I don't go watch sci-fi. Just not my thing. But man, that the fucking thing is captivating.
Yeah,
And I watched it during the pandemic, so it's not just like some shit that was cool at the time. Like it's still it held
yeah. I'm
and
gonna
carried
watch
over.
that. I'm gonna
Yeah.
watch that. But anyways, in the show, like it's in the far future, like tens of thousands of years in the future. And like there's this couple that gets married, and like marriage is some antiquated thing that nobody does anymore, like at this time. And everybody's gay and trans and all that type of stuff. Which honestly, like,
So like any commercial on the
yes,
online now, yeah,
yes, which is it's annoying, but like the thing that I like about the way they do it on this show is they just make it normal. Like I was watching this Star Trek show a couple of years ago, and like they had some trans character and she had to explain what being trans was. And
Eat.
it's like this is 3,000, 5,000 years in the future. Shouldn't this be so normalized by this point that nobody would have to explain it?
Or it's so weird that you still have to explain it 5,000 years
Yeah.
later.
Anyways, like
Oh, but yeah, I'm gonna get
so
canceled
this
off that one.
couple is like they live stream essentially, and they have cameras on them all the time, and they're live streaming. And I was thinking, like, I'm not sure that that type of thing is going to stand the test of time. I think people are going to get tired of having their lives on display for everyone. Not completely, like it's not going to go away completely, but I think at some point people are going to go, this isn't the right way to live. And I think that they're going to go more towards an antiquated life. And I think something like a magazine, a physical magazine, could be something that like that people might actually want in the coming
Yeah.
years because they are sick of this putting their life on blast for everyone.
Yeah, and just like think about how easy everything is now. Like you want food, shows up at your door in styrofoam. Out of toilet paper, because you shit your pants, you gotta wait a couple hours, but they'll bring you some baby wipes and some toilet paper so you can clean yourself up. Fucking like people are having less sex now because you can way easier to open up a porn site than deal with somebody's bullshit,
Yeah, and it's so
And so people
addictive.
aren't even trying.
And it's so
Yeah.
addictive for people
Yeah.
that it's just really destroying their
I
idea of what sex is. And
yeah, I
yeah.
actually like I years ago, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna save this energy for my wife. So I don't watch porn, like I don't go on Instagram and look at butts and shit like that. And it's really improved just like my mental well-being
I look at
and
those
the
people as
level of
gross.
connection that we have. What's
Like
that?
I look at those people on Instagram and I don't find them attractive anymore. Like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie and say that I don't ever watch porn because I do from time to time, but, like,
Yeah, you
I
yeah,
I think there's something strange about a type of woman that wants to do that, and I don't find it attractive.
yeah,
They can be physically attractive, but I don't find that attractive.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, dancing on car hoods and just the whole "I'm hot, give me attention" thing is
Yeah.
off-putting. Like, I don't think I would wanna date somebody that did that type of shit because it's
No.
just weird and gross.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife, when we got married, she did a line of clothes for festivals, and they're not modest clothes. And I didn't know how I felt about her, like, because she'd like modeled her own
Yeah.
shit or whatever. And like eventually she came to stop doing that on her own because like dudes were hitting her up and stuff. I was secure enough in our relationship where I'm like, oh, she's not like trying to get dudes to fuck her by posting on the internet. But it definitely wasn't a great feeling either, you know?
Yeah, I could see that, ah, like, the thought of, and I don't know how dudes do this, but, like, I watch a lot of, like, police videos and shit like that on YouTube, and, dude, there are so many videos of, like, Instagram models and OnlyFans models that are just behind the scenes, off the camera, are just drunken fucking disasters. And you
Yeah.
see it all the time where they're having these crazy fucking domestic abuse situations and just so drunk. And
Yep.
you would have to imagine that doing something like that must make you feel gross on the inside. Even if you can't admit it to yourself, like it has to make you feel gross, and it's not a surprise that they're just a drunken disaster because they have to numb this pain of, like, "I'm a whore."
Yeah. Here's a weird one for you. So I was living in upstate New York near Syracuse and this is when I was a professional poker player. So we had a house where people would fly up and like different people would come and play and we talk about strategy and shit like
Mhm.
that. This kid comes up and like we're all up drinking at like 1 in the morning. He's like, "Oh, I found a hooker on Craigslist." I said, "I'm out." I just,
Yeah.
went home and went to bed.
I've never
But
I've never done that either.
so the two of them go to this hooker's house, just to their home, and they bang her, but the husband sat with the other one and entertained them while his wife was getting her back blown out. So they like took turns. And like in the time that they were taking turns, which was quite a while because they were both pretty drunk, the husband just sat and shot the shit with the other guy. He's like, "Oh yeah, your buddy's fucking my wife right now.
So
Anyway, what
weird.
about the bills?"
So
Like,
weird. I
what
couldn't do
fucking
that.
life is that?
Oh god.
Yeah.
So degrading, just like you're lowering yourself. I don't I don't have the vocabulary to describe, like, how disgusting that would make me feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just
Yeah.
well, as Tim Dillon would say, "You're a piss pig."
Yeah. And I mean, like, where we lived, so the town is called Auburn, and at when the big swinging dick dude from that town was Lincoln's vice president,
Oh,
and he was given Seymour William Seymour, last name Seymour for sure. So Seymour was given the choice of either getting the Erie Canal or a prison,
hmm,
and he's like, "Well, I'll people there'll be prisons forever, but this boat traffic route won't last forever." And so Syracuse got the Erie Canal, Auburn got the prison. You've heard of Syracuse, you haven't heard of Auburn
yeah,
before now, probably. And so the town is just uh, since it's a prison and it's like 7, 8 hour drive from New York City, um, the wives would move up while their husbands were in prison because like you can't just like you're low income in the first place.
mhm,
You can't just be making that commute. So like apartments were $400 to $700 a month, and they're in like some shitty apartment. So like that dude just watched his wife make the whole month's rent or listen to it. So
and dude, people are so lazy that they would rather
yeah,
be whores than work.
yeah.
And, like, I get that some of these women aren't,
I mean,
like,
if hot went
capable, but
before I was
here's the
married,
problem, like, they're capable of working, they're not capable of making the amount of money to fit the lifestyle that they wanna live.
I don't think these people were balling. Like they're
No,
living in a
some of them
$500
are,
a month
like, some of
apartment.
these
Yeah,
OnlyFan models make a ton of
yeah.
money, and they're living in Miami in these nice apartments and shit like that, but, like, there's a laziness factor to that because I don't I don't think that all of these women like what they're doing. I think there are a couple of
No.
sociopaths that get off on this shit and like actually enjoy that life, but I would imagine that most of them probably don't. And if they had the opportunity to live that life with a normal a normal way of making money, they would probably take it. But I think there's a laziness factor to where they don't wanna grind.
Yeah, and well, I mean, they are
Well,
grinding something,
grind was a poor choice of words there. They do
but
wanna they are grinding, but
also you see online these like there's this promise of, oh, this girl made more money than fucking
yep.
LeBron last year. And so these girls go into it and they're like, all right, I made $75 last month, and now my kids will find me doing whatever on the internet in
Oh,
15 years.
no, could
You know
you
what I mean?
imagine
Like they're
seeing your
walking into
mother
this
do
big
that?
promise of, oh, I can make millions. I think I'm hotter than that girl or whatever. And then they're like, oh man, I made 400 bucks, 75 bucks, whatever. And nothing. Saw it with strippers too. Like in Vegas, hanging out at bars, like you would, I was a late night kind of guy. So like there's a video poker bar by my house, and it was actually a good system. If you play video poker, they give you your drinks for free.
Oh,
So I would
nice.
put a 20 in the machine, never touch it. I knew the bartender, and then I tip him a 20 at the end of the night. And every time my cup was empty, he'd just go fill it with whiskey. And every time my beer, so like, you had some interesting conversations. And there was girls who were strippers who, because you have to pay like a fee for the night. Like as a stripper, you show up and pay rent. They're like, yeah, lost $30 tonight.
Yeah. You know
Like, how are you losing $30 selling pussy?
yeah. I'm not into gambling either. Like, my ex-wife was addicted to gambling, and she was addicted to the worst type of gambling. Like, her father is a professional poker player as well. He made a lot of money. And, anyway, she was addicted to, like, slot machines 'cause bright, pretty lights, type of thing, and she would
Oh,
al
will
we
you
would
text me his name later?
Yeah, I
I want to
will.
see if I'm aware of him.
Yeah, I'll tell you after the podcast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anyways, um, I'm not gonna talk about him anymore. I could, but I'll tell you after the podcast. Anyways, like, my ex-wife was like, slot machines, and she would I remember, like, one night we stayed at a casino right before I went to line school. There was a casino right by, and, like, that night, she won, like, 800 bucks, and I was like, "Cool, like, you can be done now. You won the money," and I slept in the next day, and by the time I woke up, she was down $400. It's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And, I
Yeah.
played poker with him one time at Christmas, like, we had, like, a big poker game, and I always felt like I'd be good at poker. I
Yeah.
just don't have the stomach to gamble, and I don't really like gambling, and I don't wanna
Yeah.
lose the money, and, he told me I was a good player, so maybe one of these days I'll get into it. It's just I don't know,
Well,
man, like,
so the difference between poker and like table games or slot machines is it's you have to look at it like over a million hands
Mhm.
or however many hands. Am I making the right decision?
Yeah,
And
there's skill involved.
if you're making the statistically correct decision, you're going to end up a winner, and you have to completely disconnect from this dollar amount or this or that and just like did I make the right decision? But then there's also luck involved because like I went on this run once. This is before I knew how to play tournaments very well, but I deposited like $100 on this site and I ran it up to like $25,000 in 3 or 4 days. And all my friends were tournament players. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a great tournament player. And I was just like fucking luck box, luck box, luck box. I won 5 tournaments in one night that were all like $2,000 plus first places.
Damn.
And it's just like, oh yeah, just go in. Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, I'd
So
never had, like I was the type of gambler that I would have 300-400 bucks, and I'd go play some blackjack, and if I lost it, I lost it. If I was always only, like, comfortable gambling money that I was prepared to lose. Like, I kinda just wrote it off, like, "I'm gonna lose 400 bucks. I'll have fun for the night," and, if I
I'm
get
paying
up.
400 bucks for entertainment tonight.
Yeah, and I would play until I was finished playing. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not gonna keep playing to get up or down. Like, when I'm done, it's been a couple hours, I'm ready to go in for the night. Wherever I'm at, that's where I'm at, and I'm not gonna fucking worry about winning or losing. And typically, when I played blackjack, I was up, but sometimes I lost too,
yeah.
but
I went
anyways.
to actually one of the dudes that was at the hooker and husband's house. He died, And I went to his memorial, and we did it at a casino in upstate New York. 'Cause that's like kind of where we all hung out and shit. And the first night, only one of the buddies showed up, and I went and I played, and I put on a fucking clinic, dude. I was up so much money. I was just piss pounding these poor people. And then this one dude got like super, like maybe I win the hand 4,900 and 999 times out of 5,000.
Yeah.
And so like that's how unlucky I got. And I ended up winning just $100 on the night, but it was like a $5,000 pot, and I was only in the game for $300, and I was so fucking mad. I was like, my buddy was out, the buddy that showed up was out smoking a cigarette. He came back, I was gone. I'm sitting at the bar, my face is red, my ears are red. I'm like, let's find this motherfucker in the parking lot, and he's like, obviously not. I'm like, yeah, obviously not. And I get up to the room, and like my wife could tell I was obviously disturbed, and she's like, what happened? I'm like, I won $100.
Oh
She's like,
man.
you're fucking mad and you won $100. I'm like, yeah, that's dumb. I'm not gonna play that game anymore. Like,
Did you ever like count cards playing blackjack? You seem like somebody that could count cards.
um, I we had I wouldn't say it was like MIT system, but we had a good system.
I knew
And this
you
was
had
like
something. I knew you had
it
something.
in the upstate casinos, and we would sit down and we'd take up the full table, and we would almost intuitively, but a couple guys said they were counting cards. My shit was just intuitive. We would see where the money was kind of flowing, and then like that person would bet the most, or those people would bet the most. Um, and then like we never lost. We always chopped losses and wins. So if somebody lost 1,000, somebody
Oh,
else won two
you
thousand,
guys
we would
pooled
split
money.
up the rest. Yeah.
Did you ever get cut off by a casino for winning?
No.
That's good. Fucking casinos, man. They're the worst. Those fucking people are so fucking they're so corrupt. I don't know. I've been seeing like my entire fucking X feed right now is just different data points and graphs about how shitty the fucking economy is right now and just how destroyed everything is across all different,
Oh, you
areas of
mean how
life.
they
And
revised all the job numbers for the last year Biden was in
yeah,
office?
it's like 900,000 jobs
Yeah.
off. Oops, that was just an oopsie. There wasn't any fuckery going on there, right?
Yeah, I
But I
since I
was gonna
don't
say
have
one
as
of the data points is like Vegas hotel rooms are down, gambling is down, like it's all down, and that's got to be one of a data point to look at because when people are out of fucking extra money, one of the first things they're going to cut out is gambling in Vegas.
that is a very valid, true point, but it's not just that. If let's say you go to Vegas, like I'm gonna Uber. I'm going there for 4 nights next week,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna Uber because I'm going to 2 different conventions, and I'm Ubering because I would spend more in just parking fees than the cost of Uber. The rental car and parking fees is gonna be like double what I will pay by just Ubering. So they charge you at least 20 bucks to park. A cocktail's now $30. You can't eat a meal for less than $75 a person. They charge you for this, they charge you for that. Like, so when during the financial collapse, they started building this part in the central strip called City Center. And it was all owned by MGM, but a couple of the projects went bankrupt because of the financial collapse. So I think it was UBS bought one of them, one of the Swiss banks bought one. And they're like, "Oh, we're making more money. We can make more money in hospitality than we can in gaming." So like they built like the dopest, biggest nightclub. They were like the first one with like the super club, and there was a day club, and people were buying bottles, and you could get a room sitting there. So they were the first casino to make more money from hospitality than from gaming. And then the other casinos like kind of took note. And then also the casinos all sold the land into like BlackRock Real Estate Investment Trust and then leased it back. So now you have private equity driving the economics inside of a casino instead of being like, yo, we have 99-cent shrimp cocktail, $5
Yeah,
blackjack, just come and gamble with us.
they're just
By the
trying to
time you get
take
to the table,
everything.
there's no fucking money left. Even the resort fees, like, okay, so your room is 150 bucks a night. That's fair. That's a American room, hotel room now. Oh, but we have the $75 resort fee, and you have no choice but to pay it.
Yeah.
Like, every fucking penny, they nickel and dime. So, and also Canada was a big driver. Like, Canada's the closest
Mhm.
country to, well, besides Mexico, but the
Nobody can
peso
afford
doesn't go
that.
as far
Yeah.
as the Canadian dollar. Um, so a lot of people are stopping traveling from Canada, which whatever. But yeah, dude, like I'm not excited to go pay $14 for a black coffee on the strip, but I have to because it's
Business.
business and there's a lot of opportunity.
Makes sense, man. Another thing that I've been noticing too is like I know alcohol sales have been very down for the past couple years, and I think the internet is making people more responsible. Like there seems to be a trend of younger people not drinking anymore. Not like this is not like a huge portion of society, but like there's a small trend, medium trend going on where people are drinking less, and I think they're trying to be more responsible with their money, more responsible with their health, and like I could see that same vein of people cutting out gambling as well. Like if you're not going to be
Yeah,
drinking, like what fun is it to go to a casino if you're not going to get drunk and go gamble? Like
right.
that was, when I was gambling, like, when I was a salesman, I'm not gonna say what I was selling. When I was a salesman in Southern
Free
California,
market salesperson.
free market salesperson, we used to go to Pachanga, which is one of the biggest Indian
Yeah,
casinos in Southern California. It's a fun place, and they had the big round bar, and all the motocross racers would go and hang out in there, and we'd get drunk and gamble and have a good time, and I enjoyed it. But once I got sober, like, I could only do a couple hours in the casino before it was like, "All right, this is just kinda fucking boring now," you
yeah.
know?
I know a lot of sober dudes that love to gamble. It's like they replace the rush of drinking with the rush of gaming, but obviously that wasn't you.
Yeah, no, for some reason, it just hasn't ever really, like, appealed to me, and I don't know, like, you could say, though, that, like, I am gambler in a sense of, like, my investment strategies. I'm pretty heavy in on Bitcoin, and, like,
Yeah.
that's gambling in ways. I'm not doing day trading, I'm not trading with leverage or anything like that, but it's a risky investment, you know what I mean? And, like, that's a
I
gamble,
think you're
so
past the I think you're past the risky part with Bitcoin.
I think so too, but most people I was talking to my grandfather on the phone the other day and he just doesn't get it and like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're
Let's see.
too highly allocated. You need to diversify more, blah blah blah." And it's just like, "Dude, you don't get it." Like if you got it, if you read the book, like I sent him the Bitcoin Standard when he asked me about it and he never read it clearly because he doesn't understand it. "Oh, it's not backed by anything." I'm like, "Dude, it's backed by energy." "Well, we don't have energy in this country." And it's like, "Dude, we don't need it in this country. It's decentralized. You just mine it in a country that has a lower electricity cost." I did see something cool on the internet the other day. This guy built a heating system out of a Bitcoin miner. So he submerged miners in water and he's using the heat to heat his home,
Oh.
which I
See,
thought was pretty cool.
I don't believe in the promise of the decentralized Bitcoin. Well, I believe that option, whatever, but I don't believe that's why it's a stable investment now. So yeah, if you ever looked at the price of Bitcoin versus how much Tether issues, it was like they're almost linear. And then ETFs and like big corporates started putting money in. So now like Bitcoin goes with the stock market, which is the most backward ass thing ever.
Yeah.
And like that whole decentralized lack, all that. No, it's just an asset now that people have confidence in and then they buy it. I don't look at it as I think crypto is the worst possible option for um a collapse of anything. Like how are you going to transfer your Bitcoin if the internet goes down
Yeah.
or if society collapses?
Yeah.
So I think that like if you're trying to hedge for societal collapse, get seeds.
No, I agree with you on that point, like and it's not gonna just be Bitcoin that's fucked in a situation like that, like, if you don't have physical gold and silver, or seeds,
Yeah.
like you said, you're kinda
Gold's
fucked.
pretty useless too, unless you're trying to do a transaction for like a property.
Mhm.
Like, how are you going to break a bar of gold up? Like, why
Mhm.
or how? Sorry. So like the best possible option.
You have
And
to have a triple beam balance scale too.
yeah, so there was one company that was really interesting in Vegas. They were doing gold backed dollars. So like at the time it was $1 worth of gold, $5, $10, but they were charging double for the utility of it. So you were only getting 50 cents to gold, but 50 cents worth of gold, but you're paying $1 for it. You see, you're paying 100% markup, and it's like utility. What utility? Like
Mhm. Gold's not used for
no,
anything anymore.
no, yeah,
And also,
um,
like, we don't know how much gold there actually is in the system. You know, Fort Knox could be full
none,
or it could be empty
none.
for all the fuck we
It's
know,
empty.
right?
It's empty.
Yeah, I would think so too. And they're doing, you know, with gold, you're also able to do like fractional reserve banking with it in certain
Yeah,
circumstances. I'm not huge on like up on what gold does and what it doesn't do, but I
it's at
think
an
that it's
all-time high.
easily manipulated. And especially like, how far are we really from Elon Musk snagging an asteroid that has more gold in it that you're able to mine on Earth in 100 years that you can just
Yeah,
easily remove and put into the system? Like, I don't
yeah.
know.
Gold
I think it's antiquated. My buddy says gold is for catching Trump's shits, not investments.
for catching what?
Trump's shits, as in his gold toilet.
Yeah. Oh, I want one of those so bad.
Yeah.
So it was 2,600 at the beginning of the year. Now it's 3,600.
Yeah. I
But
made a
like
lot of money
nobody
on gold
actually
this
owns
year.
any gold.
I own
No,
gold. I own like not physical gold. I need to see. I'm worried
that's
about
it.
owning.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody like your gold. Where is it?
Yeah, it's paper
Is
gold.
it like some dude told you that he had some gold that
Yep.
you bought?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I get it.
Now everybody go withdraw your gold at the same time. See what happens.
Yep, big run on it. Fucking yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's I let my investment guy do his thing.
Yeah.
I like having him control a portion of my portfolio because I'm nervous to do it myself. Like I'm not one of these idiots that thinks that I know so much that I'm capable of doing it myself. Like I have my Bitcoin and then I have my investment guy and he does what he does and I don't really pay attention to it. I log into the account once a month to see how it's doing, and I kind of just let him do his thing. And he's a cool guy. Like he's on board with us. Like he thinks like us.
Yeah.
He's a libertarian. Like he gets the whole financial
Oh,
collapse system
I
and
don't like
like,
libertarians.
huh?
I don't like libertarians.
Well, he's not exactly a libertarian. He's like us.
I'm joking.
Whatever we are, you know.
um, when I first got money from Influential, I've had this friend for coming on 30 years now, and he's like a financial advisor, and he's like, all right, here's the safe conservative thing to do. And like I just got this money. I've been poor my whole life. I mean, I've like had upsides, but I
Mhm.
never had wealth. And we're talking through it. I'm like, do you realize what I would do to you if you lost this money?
Yeah, you
He
told me that.
goes, he goes, you know what? Maybe you should just bet on yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I own a little bit of Tesla. I own a little bit of Bitcoin. I have $1 million worth of fucking shoes that only get half the people high sitting in a storage locker. And I'm doing a new startup. So we'll see how that goes.
I was actually going to ask you about listening post.
Yeah, uh it's crushing. I sent you that video, the
Yep,
demo.
I watched
Yep.
it.
Yeah, it's going really well. It's weird. The challenge with that project is it applies to any business. So when you're talking to somebody, they're like, "Who's your ideal customer?" I'm like, "A business?" And they're like, "No, you got to be like niche
Yeah.
down and like you got to do this for that." And I'm like, "No, in every new big tech movement. So going the PC and then going PC to internet, internet to cloud. There's these generational companies where like Salesforce or Facebook or Microsoft or Dell, um, like those were all made. And this is the first time I worked on a project where it's like, oh, this could be a generational company, but it's hard to get people to understand that. So,
You're
but
early.
it's moving along. Yeah, early
Yeah,
as fuck.
you're
That's where
fucking
I live.
early, you know, and
But I mean, we have $1.4 million in signed contracts already. We have investors giving us money. I can't talk too much about that, but
yeah, that's fine.
we're attractive to investors, and it's yeah, it's going well.
And
I have to,
you've got a good reputation, so it's easier for you to, you
depends on
know.
where you ask.
Yeah, I guess that could be true. You got a good reputation on this podcast, anyways.
Yeah. But and thanks for starting early. I have to get up at 4 for a flight tomorrow. I go over
Ugh.
to New York, talking to I can't believe. I thought this was going to be like, oh, $50 to $300 a month product. Like big companies that pay $300 a month for it for everybody that used it. And I can tell you offline, but like the people that I'm going to talk to, it's like, what? Like it's really really needed. But like we're talking about like, oh, if this we close this one company, it could be like 50 million a year in revenue for us. It's like, the fuck? I
Wow.
just wanted to talk to my data, you
Yeah.
know?
I hate traveling. I couldn't do what you do. It's just, especially like since I got hurt, it's just such a nightmare. I hate fucking airports. I hate airplanes. Like, it's just such a nightmare.
I'll tell you something weird. Like it always happens, and it must be like I've flown more than probably 10 average people do in a lifetime.
Yeah.
And every morning when I wake up, when I have a flight, I get something stuck on my gag reflex. I cough, cough, cough,
Dude,
and
I
puke a
was just
little.
gonna say I get sick every time I travel.
Yep. It's like I've done that. My dumbass is flying on 9/11, so we'll see how that goes.
Ugh. I need new prosthetics. Like I've gained some, I don't know if you can tell, but I've gained some weight. Ugh. Been working out.
What's up, fatty?
Yeah, I'm up at like 185 now, which is
You're like,
fairly
I don't
heavy for
watch
me.
much porn, but here's my strong arm.
Yeah, right. And I was like 185, 190 when I got hurt. And then when I was in the hospital, I got up to like 220, which is like the heaviest I've ever been by a lot because I was just
Yeah.
eating a lot in the hospital. I was eating 3 meals a day, which I almost never do. Like now, I only eat once a day and it's at night, which is like, but anyways, dude, like I was like 220 when I got out of the hospital. And then within a couple years, I was down to like 120, 125, somewhere in that area. And I was just fucked up from being in pain and being sick. And finally, like, got off of the American diet and got onto steaks and just eating once a day. And I ended up taking an antidepressant that really helped. Like, like, my doctors had no idea what was wrong with me. They thought I might have had cancer. They were testing me for all these different types of things. They were considering a feeding tube at one point because I couldn't fucking eat. I had like no appetite and I would get sick when I would eat. And then like my psych doctor suggested going on this medication called mirtazapine. He's like, it has a side effect of weight gain, which is why women don't like taking it, but like, let's just try it. So I got on that and then I switched over to eating steaks only for like, I did that for like 2 years where all I ate was ribeyes. And I
Okay,
gained weight
Jordan
immediately
Peterson.
and got up to like 155, 160. And
Nice.
I was like, I was probably 160 when I got hurt. And like after I got when I hurt my shoulder, I mean, when I broke my shoulder. And like as I was starting to lift and like work it out, and I'm still having problems with it. It still hurts and for some reason like I just haven't been able to get it healed up and I decided I needed to gain some weight because it would be easier to put on muscle if I had some fucking fat on me. And I've got a big fucking gut right now that I need to get rid of the gut and keep the weight. I haven't figured
Yeah.
that one out yet. But anyways, gaining weight as an amputee is not good for prosthetics. So like my prosthetics are too tight right now. Like I can barely use my hook for anything because it just digs into my fucking elbow and I hate it. And
How much is the robot prosthetic new?
oh, I don't know, probably like the prosthetic itself is probably like 30 or 30 to 50 grand, but the work that is required to make the socket and everything is probably just as much. So I would say between 1 and 250 somewhere in there.
So do you think they'll just like give you a Tesla robot so they don't have to fuck with your arm anymore?
I doubt it. I doubt it. And I need new prosthetics, but my prosthetist is in Minnesota and I don't want to go there for 2 weeks. It's just a fucking nightmare.
Little Somalia?
Yeah, no shit. Dude, I think I told you the story once before about my
The
Somalian.
54?
Yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was fucking hilarious. Fucking guy. uh, so I don't know. Like I'm like I have the ability to get a new prosthetic hand at this point because like mine's pretty old at this point. It's like 10 years old, but they haven't really gotten much better. And like one of the thing that really bothers me about prosthetics is like people have a view of them that they're a lot better than they actually are. I think I've told you before that like I can get my prosthetic to do some cool things if I do excuse me, if I do all the like programming and get it working right, like I can make a cool video with it, but then if I take it off and put it back on the next day, I have to go through the whole fucking rigmarole again and like my hook bothers me too because I have the way the hook works is I have this like rubber thing that goes over my arm and then it has
Yeah.
a peg on it that like clicks in and then it kind of like grabs you above the elbow and
Nobody
hold.
likes wearing rubbers, bro.
No, dude, it fucking sucks. Like in the summer, you sweat like crazy and the thing just fills up full of water. And in the
Oh,
winter, it just turns into a fucking ice cube. And
oh,
so, like, I have an idea for a prosthetic that I think would be better. I want like an elbow brace, like you see guys in the NFL wearing, where it hooks on here, you have a strap, and then it hooks down here, you have a strap, and then it hooks on to the fucking hook itself or whatever, type of thing that you're using. And
yeah.
it has a gear on the elbow. And like I asked my prosthetist about it and he's like, "Oh, that sounds like a good idea, but I don't have time to even do it. Like I have contracts to do and it would cost me a lot of money in R&D and like nobody wants to make the fucking thing." And I've considered like trying to find a 3D printing company around here that could make something like as a proof of concept, but I don't know. I'm hoping that like when I get a new hook at some point, I'll be able to keep the old one and then I can like kind of carve out the front of it and kind of
Yeah.
attach it to an elbow brace as a proof of concept and just see if it works, but I don't
Well,
know.
once you if you do a design and get it done, my patent guy was a patent examiner. So my
Nice.
buddy, excuse me, that introduced me to him, he got him 44 patents for his
Wow.
project.
And yeah, like I know my hook's not laying around here right now, but like so when I got my first hook, it was closed around the elbow. And
Yeah.
then the second hook that I got, he was like, I'm going to try something and he kind of opened it up a little bit to give it a different way. And now like some other guy figured out you can get rid of the whole thing and anyways, there's like a patent to it that everybody uses now. So like that would
Yeah.
be an interesting thing. I wish I was good enough with computers that I've considered like buying a 3D printer and trying to make it myself, but I don't know if I would be able to figure out CAD and all that shit because I'm not great with computers. Like doing the podcast is as far as I've
Oh,
ever really
you
gone with computers.
just wait 2 years.
You think?
Oh yeah, like you'll be able to be like, hey, CAD, I want this.
Mm, that makes
It like,
sense.
I don't know if you saw.
I'd have to scan my arm too and like upload it
Yeah,
into CAD so it could fucking
you
do
can
all that
scan your
shit.
whole fucking house with your iPad. Like in a couple of years, you'll be able to do that shit with your arm.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. That makes
Um,
sense. I had
I
a
don't
knee
know.
brace made when I was younger where they scanned my leg.
Yeah, there was so there's like this platform where people launch AIs and like shit can go viral, it can. And there's this AI that ended up on there. It was called like Nano Banana, and nobody knew who made it. But the photo, like going, if I wanted to put my product in somebody's hand, or let's say I was the coveralls that we're doing, if I was like, hey, put these coveralls on this hot model, it would do it fucking picture perfect. Like you couldn't tell it was AI. And it was actually Google that released it. They just wanted it to go viral before they released it. And like the changes over the last 6 months in image quality from these models is just fucking insane. So I'm really hopeful that in a year, 2 years, 3 years, you'd be able to just speak to the computer and tell, and it could give you photorealistic design with technical measurements to where you could be like, all right, factory in China make this. So like we're really close to that.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be able to make it at some point, and I think it's a good
Yeah.
idea. Like, I, for some reason, like
It's just the question is like how big is the market and how much do you
exactly.
have to risk to get there?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And like, I don't know. I think
I
it
mean,
would be
could
easier.
could could you could you use that same technology in strap-ons? This is not a joke.
I don't know.
Like because then it's a massive market. But if it's just like I've met tens of thousands of people in my life. I only know two dudes that I only have one arm. It's weird that it was in the same time frame
Yeah,
of
you
this
know,
life.
there's only like I think last time I looked, there's like 30,000 hand amputees in this country, and
That's
like,
it. And
yeah,
I know two of you fuckers.
and like 2 million leg amputees because of diabetes.
Ah,
And I
yeah,
think
those
it could be
people are.
used for a leg. Like, I think you could use it for, like, if you had a knee, you could use that same thing, and it would be a better technology than what they're using for knees now because you
Yeah.
don't get any bend with it. It's the same. They use the same exact tech for the leg that they use for an arm. It's just a
Well,
socket with the roll-on thing and the peg that goes in. And like, dude, this is
if you could
old
sell that
tech.
technology in Gaza, you'd be a billionaire.
I know, right? Dude, there's and like I think about this a lot. Like I'm in so much pain with phantom limb pain. Like it is debilitating. It's hard for me to sleep. Like it's fucking brutal. And like I am taking a lot of medications and I have good doctors and you know, over there you get a fucking dull knife and a hammer and
Yep.
then they give you a fucking crutch and that's what you get for the rest of your fucking
That's what
life.
you get. That's it, and that's all.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk politics for the last few minutes.
Yeah. What do you got?
I'm not up on much of it. Like I just skim and see,
Mhm.
but and I don't know about National Guard deployment, how legal that is, any of that. Like I really don't know anything. I'm
Did you
not
see the Don
well
Lemon
studied.
video?
No,
He was over
thank
in
God.
like Philly asking black people what they thought about it, and they all told him that it was a good idea.
You know, I I do not have an opinion on it, but what I do know is the people who are calling the United States a police state because the National Guard's getting deployed places are the same people that were calling the cops on me for not wearing a mask.
Yeah, dude, we've been a police state for fucking 30 years.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Now all of a sudden we're a police state. Like we've been a police state since 9/11.
Yeah. And melt steel beams.
Yeah.
And passports can just fly out of the cockpit.
Dude, Tim Dillon's last episode was fucking
Oh my
hilarious.
God.
The bagels where he just knocks him over and goes 9/11.
I I think Tim is the best podcaster ever.
Oh, he
But
is. It's not even close.
for like the last couple years, I've just like not wanted to be yelled at while I consume content. Like I used to watch every Rogan episode, every Tim Dillon episode, every Legion of Skanks. I was very now I'm much busier too.
Yeah.
So I haven't watched a full Tim Dillon episode in probably a year.
Me
But
neither.
god
I don't
damn
watch
it.
him as much anymore. And for me, it's I don't want to be influenced by him because we have a similar style. Like I rant and I rave, and
Yeah.
I don't want to like be influenced and do what he does because I don't do it as well as he does. Nobody does. And like
Yeah.
I don't want that. Like I don't want because he's covering the same things that we cover a lot of the time. And like I don't want to do the same. That's the same reason why I don't watch Dave Smith's podcast very often anymore either, is because I don't want to do the same thing that he does. Like the only podcast I really watch on a weekly basis anymore is Kill Tony. I tend to watch every episode of that. The last episode with Donnell Rawlings and Rob
Man,
Schneider was
I'm
really good.
the last 3 or 4 that weren't like Madison Square Garden Netflix shit. The last 3 or 4 log in and I'm like, this is like the people weren't funny. And
That's the
then
main problem is people are signing up that have no business signing up.
which used to be the funny part because the panel would be just shit on them.
Yeah.
And now like people go like, oh, I don't want to hurt your feelings or something. Like my favorite part was people just getting fucking obliterated. And
Yeah.
now it's like, oh, hey, you're stupid, get out of here. And
Yeah.
it's like not even funny. So but
Crazy
the
people.
Madison's huh?
Crazy people signing up that like
Yeah.
you can't even really rip on them because they don't even get that they're being ripped on
Yeah.
a lot of like and they don't understand why they didn't they think they're funny and they think they did well and it's like, "Oh, why is the audience booing me?"
Because you suck.
Yeah.
Episode
Fucking
title,
suck.
because you suck. I gotta
Because
go,
you
brother.
suck. All right, Dan, let's fucking get out of here. You've
Alright.
got shit to do. We didn't play
Yeah,
the
I
intro
have
music,
another
so-
work call, then I gotta go sleep before my flight.
All right, we'll play the outro this week.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah. Hell yeah.